everybody. I'm Julie Wilson, your Pampered Chef Consultant and Traveling Trivet. It is time for our weekly edition of Throwback Thursday recipes. Let's get going. If I can get my old bum up off the ground. Okay. There we go. For this week, I think I'm getting this camera thing down. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to work on the speaker next week, I think. This week, we're reading out of yet another book Vicki gave me. She gave me a pile of them. She gave me this one. It's National Grange Bicentennial Year Cookbook. And it is the newest one that I have read out of since I've been doing this. The date is 1975. And I almost didn't read out of it because I kind of wanted to stick in the either my grandma's era or in the mid-century modern era because those recipes are a ton of fun. But as I read through it, this recipe book has recipes that were vintage recipes in 1975. So I thought it was fun. So this week, well, first, I looked up what the National Grange was, and it's a social economic political group. It was founded after the Civil War in 1867, and it still is going. Anyway, if you want to look that up, this is a 1975 book. And the recipe, when I looked through these, I decided to stick with our innuendo theme. Let's see, we had Wiener Mix-Up 2 weeks ago, and Working Gals Vegetable Salad last week. So this week, we're doing Cornish Pasties. And before I read through this whole recipe thing, because I always read through them, this one calls for lard and suet, freshly ground suet or finely ground suet. And I always kind of thought they were the same thing, and they kind of are, but I looked up what the difference is. So suet is the hard white fat from kidneys and loins of animals, mostly from cows and mutton, while lard is the semi-solid fat obtained from pigs. I didn't know that until I looked it up. Okay, so let's read our Cornish Pasties. This recipe, in 1975, this recipe was 100 years old. So it's definitely a vintage recipe. So we got 3 cups of flour, salt, 1/4 cup of lard, 1 cup finely ground suet, 6 to 7 teaspoons of cold water, or tablespoons of cold water. Been having allergies, my eyes aren't quite clear. 1 pound of finely diced flank or round steak, 1/2 pound of finely diced pork, finely chopped potatoes, pepper, sliced turnips, chopped onions, and 6 tablespoons of butter. This is not a diet recipe. Okay, I'm going to move this up to the light so I can see it. Place flour, 1 teaspoon salt, and lard in mixing bowl. Work lard into flour with pastry blender. Pampered Chef has one of those, by the way. Add suet, working thoroughly. Add enough water to make dough. A little more, to make dough a little more moist than pastry. This is tiny. Divide dough into 4 parts. Roll out each piece on floured surface into a round shape. The size of the round shape, the size of a dinner plate. Mix steak and pork. Place half-inch layer of the potatoes on half of each piece of dough. Season with salt and pepper to taste. Add thin layer of turnips, then thin layer of onions. Cover with 1/4 of the steak mixture. Place 1 1/2 tablespoons of butter on top of each. fold dough over, fold dough over filled portion. Seal edges with fork. Make 1-inch slit on top of each pasty. And it does say pasty. Place pasties on cookie sheet or pie pan. Bake in preheated 400-degree oven for 1 hour or until done. Yield 4 servings. Kind of sounds like a calzone, kind of, sort of. But as I was looking through this, actually Pampered Chef has a lot of these items. One of the items I was thinking would be perfect for this is our rolling pin. This is our marble rolling pin. It has a nice wood stand, so it looks nice, and use it to scrape off your dough. And this thing is a murder weapon. It is heavy. I've had a wood rolling pin since I left home, and then I've got a couple vintage wood rolling pins somewhere around this house, but they don't compete with this Pampered Chef rolling pin. And I've used this. This is nice. Anyway, for this Cornish Pasties, I want to know, is it good? Let's give it a try. Is it bad? No, thank you. Or is it ugly? Now, I had to do math here. Is it ugly, and we should send that recipe back to 1875, where it came from? Personally, I think it sounds really good. I'd have to do something with the lard, and the soot has a lot of fat. I have to figure out something different, but it sounds really good. Anyway, tell me what you think, if you like this, and I am going to go on a different route next week, and back and read some stuff out of the 1960s again. Anyway, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm sure I am, and when I turn off this camera, I'll remember. So, meanwhile, I'm getting attacked by my rolling pin. Anyway, you all have a wonderful Thursday evening, and I will see you next week.